JP Saxe! He was right behind me a second ago.
So embarrassing.
He was right behind me.
Said, nope, not there.
I have a question.
So do we.
So do we.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
It's so very early. Wake.
Do you have a problem waking up in the morning?
Personality. I'm fine.
You don't need headphones for this. Do you have a problem waking up in the morning?
I mean, it's happened every morning.
Yeah, it does, right? The sun comes up, you're supposed to get out of bed. But doing morning radio shows is probably problematic if you're not a morning person.
I'm a morning person when I'm jet lagged, and I always really love it. Like I'll always
Right.
I'll always wander around a new city, being like, I'm better than everyone.
Right.
But I'm not, in really any way.
Well, welcome back. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We love the new song, by
I'll
the way.
get
It's
up
great.
early for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not that early. You know.
I really think the combination of me being a little bit tired and the just jarring nature of the saxophone is going to make this a deeply vulnerable conversation.
Okay, so we're really going to open up about what's going on in your life and where you are and stuff, right?
I'll talk to you about anything. It is the function of my life to share my tumultuousness for others' appreciation on morning radio.
What are your failures?
Well, that's such an interesting thing for you to ask me, because yesterday I was having a conversation with someone and we stumbled upon the question, what are the failures you're the most grateful for?
Yeah, because they take us to places in our life, don't they?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm going to start talking to people about that. The
Yeah.
failures, I'm going to start asking people, what are the failures you're most grateful for? And then here I am, and you just asked me.
Well, because you learn nothing, and I think Ed had said this recently too, you learn nothing from success, but you learn from failures.
Is he on a first name basis now? Just like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that where he's just arrived? He's
Yeah.
the Ed.
Yeah.
I guess there isn't any.
Talk
other
about Ed Helms. Who are you
equally
talking about?
It's a good Ed. Norton.
Yes, Ed Norton. That's what I'm talking about. Right, be it him.
Cullen.
Yes. It's
small,
Sheeran.
though.
You know it is. Stop it.
No, I'm aware.
Okay.
Um,
But he was talking about failures.
uh-huh.
So what are some of the
I
failures
mean, he
that
doesn't have
stand out
that
for you?
many.
No, he's had some, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You
of
know?
course he's had some.
Hang on. Siri's getting very upset with me. Okay, go ahead.
Siri's listening. That's how prominent Ed has become. He's controlling the AI.
I know.
He's like,
I
you
know.
better not talk crap about me on the internet. He'll kill me at the ginger meetings.
The ginger meetings.
Yeah.
Who's there? It's you, Ed, and who else?
It's me, Ed, Prince Harry. What's the Ron Weasley comes. I don't remember his name.
Oh,
I know you're talking about, right. But here's the thing. Aren't you fading fast as a ginger? I mean, I had heard that gene is fading fast throughout the world and redheads are disappearing.
I do think if we don't mate, we won't proliferate.
So you're going to have to mate
We're
with another
regressive.
ginger.
I think it's deeply unlikely.
My
Right, I hear
mom
you.
is a redhead, and
Yeah?
she had 3 girls, and none of us have red hair.
I've
That
never
gene
dated a
isn't there.
ginger. I've never even done it, not even once. I've never once dated a ginger, and I think it'd be interesting to try as like a self-love exercise.
All right, let me take a break. JP Saxe is here. We'll talk about the new song. In fact, let's play it right now. I Don't Miss You. It is Valentine in the morning. This is 104.3 Myfm.
Okay. Morning voice version. I don't miss you. Lying to ourselves at 10 a.m. Let's go. On 104.3 Myfm. I've never called her by your name. I'm lucky yours and hers aren't similar in any way. But you're an undertone still if she listens. You're on the tip of my tongue when we're kissing. And my conscience is flooded, but I don't think much of it. It's subconscious inside it, so I don't let it mean anything. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. It's not fair to anybody, but I just can't get you off of my mind. My mind. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. I can't help it how I dream as if you're painted on the back of my eyes. I don't miss you, I just think about you all the time. I just think about you all the time. I can't say that I expected just how many moments where we'd still be so connected. You sneak up on my imagination in the worst possible situations. And my conscience is flooded, but I don't think much of it. It's subconscious inside it, so I don't let it mean anything. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. It's not fair to anybody, but I just can't get you off of my mind. I don't miss you, I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me. I can't help it, how I dream is if you painted on the back of my eyes. I don't miss you, I just think about you all the time. Thank you, thank you.
JP Saxe, ladies and gentlemen, nice job. You are using that like soft morning voice too, and you're
Soft
doing it
morning
too.
voice.
Soft morning voice.
Y'all have got the wake up with me and you're like, sing me a song, JP energy.
I know, right? Right? Yeah, we're good. Thank you, man. That was great, dude. Nice job. Right into Mike. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
it. Thanks for saying nice things.
We were talking about the song before he came in too, because obviously the juxtaposition. I don't miss you. I just fantasize about you being someone who loves me and stuff.
I don't miss you, I just think about you all the time.
Yeah.
What an absurd thing to say.
Absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Blatantly, obnoxiously dishonest.
Totally.
And here I am.
I
having
don't
a
miss
whole
you. I just want you back.
Yeah, it's like imagine we were having a conversation with a friend and you're like, yeah, not like dude, I do not miss her. I just dream about her every
Fantasize
night.
about her all the time. She's
Yeah,
always in my
just
dreams.
Think about her all the time. Your
Right.
friend would be like, what are you talking about? That is so ridiculous.
Since we write about our real lives, is that a person that you're speaking of, or is it a combination of people from the past?
So remember all those things I said in our interview earlier when we were having a conversation about how I put sincerity before all else and honesty is the only thing that matters to me?
Yes.
I take it back.
That particular song, no. That one does not count when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You doing a lot of writing for other
It's real
people?
till it's scary.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Answer that question again.
No, it's okay. I would actually much rather talk
No.
about
I turned you. No, it's real because it's scary. Go ahead.
It's real until it's scary.
Yeah.
And then you have to find ways to evade and frame it.
Yeah.
Because like, here I am, like performatively talking about how the only thing that matters to me in music is, revealing parts of myself that I'm afraid of. And then you say something that feels like a little bit messy and you're like, I don't know how to analyze this particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're all true stories, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'd all, in some respects, have similar songs, similar poems, similar stories, similar words we put to paper. If we maybe had the art that took us that way, for some of us, we do it and then it never becomes the level of what you have here in front of you, but we try and express ourselves in different ways.
What I will say is that songs are not my suggestion of how I think anyone should feel,
Mm-hmm.
nor do I think they should ever be taken as advice. If anything, I think they should be actively avoided as advice.
Mm-hmm.
Songs are usually just a representation of how a very flawed person felt in a particular moment, not a suggestion of how a songwriter thinks other people should go about their feelings. This song is a bad idea.
Okay.
It's not a suggestion. It's just
It's a horrible idea. You got to let that person go.
It's a moment. I don't know what anyone should do in their particular situations. I do feel a lot of personal responsibility around people texting people they shouldn't have with my songs as an excuse.
Been there.
So yeah, gang.
That's so good. I love that.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to find a way to make up for that in a different capacity. But the songs are only meaningful if they represent the parts of myself that I don't enjoy hanging out with as much as they represent the parts of myself that I do.
That you do.
This song is like, it's so true because when you do break up, you want the person to know that you don't miss them. Yet there you are, thinking about them constantly, wanting to get back with them.
Yeah.
But as far as they're concerned, you could not care less.
And you show them
about
that world on Instagram and everything else. Look,
Yes.
I'm doing fine without
Oh
you.
yeah,
Look at me with my big
out
smile.
And about,
Right.
just living it up.
Like you're telling yourself that their perspective is no longer of importance to you, yet everything you put out in the world publicly, they're the first perspective that you're considering.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, it's a tough
That's
one.
so true. Are you writing for other people too?
I do that.
Yeah.
If they're my friends and I love their music, then yeah.
Yeah.
I like telling stories that aren't my own. Because like we've been talking about with my own stuff, I only really feel any credibility to speak on my own experience. But
Right.
I do love the craft of writing.
Right.
So occasionally it's exciting to wear a different
I can
character.
see you doing that. Yeah. Who are you writing for? Who else have you written for that we would know?
Louis Capaldi recently.
Love that guy.
Love him.
What'd you write for him?
Wish you the best.
That's yours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh,
his.
yours and his.
It's his. But, you know, I was...
Great song.
I was a part of the conversation.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we wrote that song together the day we met.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's the
I love
best.
that song. He sings.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's
What a
ridiculous.
voice that guy has,
Really
dude.
extraordinary.
Right? When he puts that voice out, so much power behind it.
Yeah, the first time I heard him in the studio singing that song, because honestly, I think like part of the motivation for that song was like me being in the room being like, what do I want to hear Louis sing? Like, this
Yeah.
is for my own personal enjoyment. And
Right,
I'm like,
right.
I want to hear him scream.
Yeah.
I want to say I miss the green in your eyes. And then he did, and it was awesome. I did a bunch of songs with Sabrina Carpenter for her album,
Okay. Very good. Very good.
which I really loved doing. Those have been the two main ones recently.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
And what else is going on? Where are you going after this? What's happening in your life? What's going on, JP Saxe?
well, okay, so for the summer, really exciting news. I get to like...
Did you just get excited all of a sudden, like at the end
Yeah.
of the interview? Well, hold on, guys. I've got some news.
It is. It's about what I'm about to say. I get to like stay home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get to like be in my house for a while.
Okay.
Kick it with the trees and the birds and the plants and the flowers. I literally walked around my yard yesterday like a total dork, just taking pictures of all the new flowers because I moved into a place in November, so I've never been there in the spring. And there's all these new flowers, and I was just like enchanted and like a total nerd about it. And you know, I've been traveling since February.
Right. You want to be home.
It's so funny, like the moments in my life where I had a home I wanted to be in, and the moments in my life where my dreams took me away from that home at all times happened at almost identical times.
Oh, no. You're conflicted.
I mean, I am very blessed with problems that only are really associated with my dreams coming true.
Right. Right.
So I would feel like a total. I don't know which words I'm allowed to say on the radio and which I'm not. A disparaging word against myself, I would feel like if I complained about such things.
I don't know what that word is.
Well, I don't know what it is either, because all the ones I thought of at first, I felt like I shouldn't say on the radio.
Yeah, but you know what? You're doing that thing with John Mayer, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's happening after the summer.
Yeah. That's a big thing. I feel like you guys are made for each other.
That's
You know?
nice.
And you're a very smart man. That comes across very quickly.
Thank you.
But you're not condescending with your intelligence either. So know that. You know, like
Thank
you were
you.
fine. But John Mayer's kind of like the same way. John Mayer had a knock back in the day, but I don't think that knock was real because we had him a few years back at the iHeartRadio Theater, and he was the most generous spirit with his time in the interview and everything else. He was a great guy. Loved him, man.
He's been extraordinarily gracious with me.
Yeah,
he's played
he's a
on
good
both
guy.
of my albums. He's letting me open his entire fall tour.
Yeah.
It's a really special show because he's playing solo in an arena, and that's not something I think anyone of us are
Right.
used to seeing. I'd never
Right.
seen anyone play solo in an arena before, which means I get to open for him solo in an arena.
Wow.
it just
dude.
feels like it's a conversation. It's honest. It's so many songs that have been such a huge part of my life. He's become a big part of my life. I'm really grateful for him. And
Do you do a lot of riffs in your stuff when you're on stage? 'Cause I haven't been to one of your shows yet, but like,
Like
Mayer,
riff,
what?
like-
Yeah, again.
or
Yeah.
like riff like me just
No, riff
saying
musically.
rambly things. Well, I'm a pianist first and
Okay.
foremost.
Gotcha.
So yeah, some of my jazz nerdiness does stumble its way into songs. I like
Right.
take songs that people know and then I ruin them and sing them in a way that no one can participate in.
So it's just like, all right,
yeah.
when you get, that's very funny.
Not ruining him.
He's loving it. When you get to the bridge or something, is it like a bridge that lasts for like ever? Because Mayer has this thing sometimes. He just goes off and he starts guitar
Yeah,
solos
yeah,
and
yeah.
going off. And I'm like, I'm swaying. And Jill knows this. I hurt my hip one time at a Mayer concert
From swaying
for
He
3
was
hours.
Sore. He was
Dude,
sore for so long.
I'm like standing up for like
Wow.
3
Swaying.
hours of Mayer and doing this. And like after a while, it's like the flexors and everything else start to go, no, dude, sit back down.
you gotta
but no
work,
one
you
sits
gotta work in
down.
a new dance move.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I could appreciate the commitment to the hip dance move, but
Right, right.
I'm looking out for you here.
I have a larger tush. I can't push it forward or back
well,
because
you
I got
just like
people
working
behind me.
some like shoulder movement, some like
Just a
head
head
bobs.
bop. Just
Where were you at
do
the
head-
time?
Yeah, a little like snapping.
All right, I'll do that when you do it.
Okay, perfect.
We'll come.
I do not use a metronome in my ears on the shows, which makes it slightly harder to dance to because
Mhm.
I'm just
You're just doing your thing.
the tempo's all over the place. I really have such a good time in those shows.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I grew up playing every open mic I could possibly find, and I would get up on stage with 30 people every night of the week, sometimes twice, because it was what made me the happiest. And I think I had a concept
Mm-hmm.
in my mind that when I arrived at arenas, I would be doing a different kind of show than I did
Right.
for 30 people at open mics. And it turns out it's almost exactly
It's the same show. But you learn so much of those open mics because we talked about how you learn from failure. If you don't do that, if you don't go that route, you don't have the knowledge that you can entertain a crowd so succinctly. You can get up there with the confidence now and know that no matter the size of the crowd, you can entertain them.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
I mean, as soon as I get up on stage, like, people are people and stages are stages. It doesn't. I thought it would feel more different, but it doesn't really.
It doesn't.
Also, like, it's still just the way I have found to convince people to talk to me. You know, like when I was 15 years old, like I was afraid to talk to people.
Right.
But then I started noticing that if I sang songs for them first, they would come talk to me. And I still think that's part of the main reason I do this.
Right.
Which is kind of fun because, you know, you get into something that the reason you're doing it doesn't always remain the same.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always been just about having a real conversation with people. Like, small talk gives me anxiety. And, you know, when you write songs about love, heartbreak, grief, self-understanding, growth, people don't want to talk to you about the weather. They want to talk to you about heartbreak and grief and love and growth. And that's what I like talking to people about.
Are you one of these guys that when you go to a party, if somebody doesn't know who you are, like, oh, that's
devastating for me.
Is it hard for you, right? Yeah.
I need to be recognized by everyone at all
like
times.
right away, as soon as you walk in,
that's
that's JP Saxe.
That's what I'm looking for. I want to not be able to go anywhere. I want to be inundated in all environments.
Do you? Okay.
I want to walk into a bar. I want to be photographed. I want to be
Yeah.
made to feel deeply uncomfortable.
Do you want me to come with you then for personal appearances and play the saxophone
you know
before
that,
you
like,
walk
literally
in?
never happens.
No, it doesn't?
Yeah, it never happens for a couple of reasons. One, I'm very low mid famous.
Okay.
So, like, low mid. We're in a I can go anywhere I want territory.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And also, if I am somewhere and someone does happen to recognize me, my fans are generally shy.
Okay.
And they're so considerate.
Right. So you
like,
just see the eye contact kind of looking at you, but they don't come over to you?
You know, we'll nod at each other and be like, I see you.
And you see me.
Yeah. But I mean, I like it when people talk to me because, like I've said, I really do love interacting with other people. And I've learned that people who like my music are usually people that would be my friends because I'm making music that I would have loved if I didn't make it. And I think music is always such a connector between the people that we care about. So as an artist, if you make music that's a show you would go to, then every show you go to is filled with people who'd probably be your friends if you lived in that city. And like, I've learned that the people who like my music, the way that I have seen them be similar around the world is they're not the overthinkers and they're not the overfeelers. They're the ones who are both. Because they're the overthinkers of our world and they're the overfeelers. And then there's a bunch of us that are both the overfeelers and the overthinkers. The people feeling too much and then thinking too much about those feelings that they had too many of. Those are the people who mess with my music.
Dear God. That's John Camucci. He's on
right
point. You're speaking his language there.
Oh,
But
man.
those people who mess with my music because that's me.
Yeah. Well, JP, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
I'm so grateful you were looking out for my songs, and I love talking with y'all.
It's great to have you in.
Thanks for accepting me so early in the morning.
You're welcome.